wanted to build with you on math, which is wisdom understanding. So that's number 23. All right, today's July 23rd, 2022. Okay. So what I wanted to build on was make sure that your wisdom is clear and make sure what you're speaking is very understood, and it doesn't have to be explained more than once. What I wanted to say in regards to my beautiful culture is, I love my culture daily, regardless. I love my way of life because it really saved my life, and it really did put me onto a lot of things about myself, and it helped me learn more about myself as I begin to get older and begin to get wiser in my understanding. I want to tell you guys a couple of things. Wisdom understanding it works in many different ways if you allow it to work in a way that it's gonna work for you. So let me break it down to you how I see it. I use wisdom understanding in my everyday life to help me facilitate the process of being better and changing the dynamic of how I do things. What does that mean? Okay. When we're dealing with wisdom, we're dealing with a sense of movement. When we're dealing with wisdom, we're dealing with a sense of action. Something has to take place. Something is going on. Something is going to take place. So when it comes to understanding, that understanding has to be what? Seen. Because when you look at the word understanding, it has the word stand. So you're standing somewhere looking around, trying to be able to see it for what it is. So when I'm talking about today's Supreme Math, I'm talking about in regards to myself. Like, you got to realize that there's certain things that you set yourself up for as far as obligations. There are certain things that you know and understand that you're supposed to do for yourself as far as needs, objectives, and the things that must be taken care of each and every day and in each and every way. So it's not a promise to a certain type of nation. You are the nation, because from you breeds a population of people. As a man, I'm gonna say this as a man. As a man, you have the seed of life brewing from your loins to be able to what? Make a nation, or to build a nation. So why am I saying that? Because what did you promise your nation that you would do? Because there are certain things that you say to yourself in life. If nobody was around, it would be only you and your conscious thoughts and your outward expression, knowing what you're saying and knowing what you're doing. So what I'm saying is this: wisdom understanding for today, meaning that I have to be able to sit back and do certain things that's gonna help me grow and elevate to another level and make me exercise my power of authority in a way where it's gonna be conducive to my growth and development as a man. And how is this type of way gonna help me be conducive in my growth and development as a man? Well, first of all, you gotta look at all the kinks. You gotta look at all the nooks and the crannies that's maybe in your armor. You know what I'm saying? Wisdom understanding ain't always like, yeah, today's supreme mathematics, wisdom understanding. Wisdom is a manifestation of knowledge. Wise, we're spoken about a wise man or person. Wisdom is a symbolic to the black woman. No, it ain't always that. It's about correcting yourself and understanding where you lie at with your supreme mathematics. You feel what I'm saying? I'm saying this in regards because this is very, very important. Wisdom understanding might be some days you gotta correct yourself. Some days you might do some fucked up shit. You gotta sit back and say, God damn, I really did do that. Well, let me strap up my boots, buckle my belt, pull up my britches and get it going. And not always, yeah, today's supreme math is, and today's, yeah, it is to that. Yeah, because we know and understand how we see if our brothers are in tune with themselves in regards to their lessons. And I'm not saying just me, because you don't have to be in tune with me. You have to be in tune with yourself because this is about you. You feel what I'm saying? So now I'm looking at this. Now, when we deal with the whole science of wisdom understanding, we're dealing with the whole science of making sure things that you're doing are clear and it's concise and it's to the point. It's not nothing like you're leaving shit up for mystery. Because once the Once your wisdom is clear and transparent, people will see whether it's valid or invalid. In other words, they will see the power in what you are displaying and what you are showing the world, whether it's powerful or powerless. You see what I'm saying? And what I mean by powerless is it holds no power. It has no dynamic. It has no level of momentum or change to it. It won't add nothing. It won't take away from that. It'll just be there. You see what I'm saying? What do I mean by that? Okay. Sometimes you got to correct yourself at the door when it comes to friendships, relationships, and companionships, right? So that means that no matter what the cost, no matter what the circumstance, I'm going to always stand on what I know is going to be best for me to do as a man when it comes down to relationships, when it comes down to friendships, companionships, whatever type of ship you on, make sure that when you're on that ship, that you don't set sail too far out to a place where you don't need to be at. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying altogether is this. Wisdom understanding is just properly correcting yourself to make sure the things that you're doing and the things that you're showing the world is what needs to be shown and what needs to be done. And it holds an influence. And when I was saying if it's powerful, if it's powerless, look at power. Power is the truth, but power is also a lie. So that's why I say it's either powerful, full of power, the truth, or powerless, it's less power, more lies. It's deceit. You feel what I'm saying? So you can easily distinguish the two. You feel what I'm saying? So what I'm bringing forth is this. There might be some days in your supreme mathematics, you got to check yourself at the door. There's going to be some days where you have it up and you got everything, all your T's crossed, or your I's dotted. You know what I'm saying? You on your P's and Q's. You're making sure you're attentive to every and anything that is happening in the midst of your life. You're paying attention to all of the signs. But there are some days where you're going to not be able to pay attention to all of the signs, and some of the signs are not going to be in front of you, but you're going to have to use your third eye in order for you to display what you want to display to certain people or certain places or do certain things. Because why? Because now you are in a situation where now you're in the midst of doing things. Your wisdom is showing the world what you about. Basically, you're showing your display of action is through your understanding. In other words, when they see what you're doing, how you're doing it, when they fully see it, when they SEE it, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna either say, I like that, or nah, that's not something that I like to see. You feel what I'm saying? But what you gotta understand is this. You gotta remember, wisdom is always an action, and it's always something you're doing, whether it be conscious or unconscious sometimes. So you gotta pay attention to your own signs, because you gotta know and understand what you're doing and what you're bringing forth to the table to people. Because like I said, people are gonna either see if it's powerful or powerless, meaning that it doesn't hold no influence or it holds major influence. So if it doesn't hold no influence, nobody's gonna pay attention to it. If it does, then people are gonna be more attentive to what you got to say and what you got to offer to people. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta check yourself at the door and make sure that everything that you're doing is lined up with what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Pardon me, brother. What time you heading out? Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, so you know what I mean? Like in some cases, you gotta always make sure that you line your ducks up. You know, wisdom understanding is the way I see it. I'm making sure I'm lining my ducks up, because now I'm displaying a dynamic shift. In other words, I'm displaying my power now in many different aspects of the word power. I'm displaying it physically, mentally, emotionally, chemically, biologically, genetically, psychologically. There's many different ways. So that's why I'm saying that I'm gonna go into today's degree. You gotta be able to uphold your promise, because your promise, the first letter of promise is P. That holds power, because there's an oral agreement there, or there could be a verbal, or there could be a written agreement. Whatever promise you made, it's out there. The wisdom is what you spoke and what you said you was gonna do. The understanding is what people are waiting to see. The power is whether people want to see it as valid or invalid, or they don't give it no attention, or they pay attention to it. You feel what I'm saying? So, like I said, what did he promise his nation that he would do? Who's he? You. That lesson is applied to you. Whether you reverse the polarities or you don't reverse polarities, there's always an understanding in that lesson. That's the 23rd lesson in the 1 of 40. That says, what did he promise his nation that he would do? He said that he would make it that would grab him from his own people. He would teach them truth now, and they would rule for 6,000 years. So he's now displaying the power of position. Your power of position is based on what comes out of your mouth. Wisdom, understanding. What comes out of your mouth has to be what? Clear and understood to the point. It has to be concise. It has to make sense. Understanding is when something makes sense and a light clicks. It's not just, oh yeah, I get that, I get it. When you see it displayed and then you do it and then you see the results from what you displayed, that's what holds power. Whether that be powerful or powerless, whether it be valid or invalid. You feel what I'm saying? So when it's not valid, that means it's powerless. When it's valid, it's powerful. You see what I'm saying? Wisdom and understanding can bring you to your power. If your wisdom is clear and concise and the way that you're doing things is right and just and true to yourself, and you see it clearly from the results that you're displaying each and every day and in each and every way, and you're constantly putting this in practice and motion, then your power is always going to be displayed, and people are always going to what? Hold you to a valid or honorable or just man. You feel what I'm saying? So I just wanted to build on that real quick, you know what I'm saying, in regards to how I see today's supreme math and, you know, went into today's degree in 1 of 40 of what he promised the nation that he would do. You feel what I'm saying? So always take that into consideration. Remember, what you do, you're showing your public display of power on what you're capable of doing or what you're capable of not doing. And that's the truth. Peace.